This lesson is on solving one-step equations. And the reason it's called one-step equations is because it just requires one step to solve them. So when we talk about solving equations, what we're talking about is finding out the value of a variable in an equation. So this equation says negative 7 is equal to the variable b minus 3. So b represents some number, and we're trying to figure out what number minus 3 is equal to negative 7. The way we do this is by getting the b by itself, so that we have b equals some number. And the way that we get the b by itself is by getting rid of whatever is with it, in this case minus 3, and we do that using opposite operations. So you do the opposite of what you see. So in this case, I see b minus 3, so the opposite of minus 3 is plus 3. And the key when you solve equations is that whatever you do on one side of the equal sign, you have to do the same thing on the other side of the equal sign. As long as you do the same operation on both sides of the equal sign, the equation will remain true. So for instance, if I had a simple equation of 2 equals 2, I can do whatever I want to this equation as long as I do the same thing to both sides, and it will still remain a true equation. So for instance, if I was to add 3 to both sides of this, I would have 5 equals 5, and that's still a true equation. So that's the key point. You have to do the same operation on both sides of the equal sign. So a lot of teachers draw a line down the middle of the equal sign here to remind you that whatever you do on this side of the line, you have to do the same thing on this side. So to get the b by itself, I want to get rid of the minus 3. So I do the opposite of minus 3 and add 3. And I do this on both sides of the equal sign. Minus 3 plus 3, those are opposite operations and they cancel each other out. They're equal to 0. Minus 3 plus 3 equals 0. Negative 7 plus 3 equals negative 4. So what I end up with is b equals negative 4. Now, it looks better in algebra, and we prefer that you move the variable to the other side. So just switch it around so that your answer says b equals negative 4 instead of negative 4 equals b. Now, one nice thing with equations is that you can check them. So to check them, what I'm going to do is plug in negative 4 for b and see is negative 4 minus 3 equal to negative 7. All right, so I have negative 4 minus 3. Negative 4 minus 3 is equal to negative 7. So I know I got the right answer. All right, so let's look at another example. This one, to get the x by itself, I need to get rid of this plus 13. So the opposite of plus 13 is minus 13. Whatever I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other side. So 13 minus 13 is 0. So now I have the x by itself, and 27 minus 13 is 14. So now I'm going to check it and see is 14 plus 13 equal to 27. 14 plus 13 is 27, so I know I got the correct answer. All right, in this one, I need to get rid of that negative 2. The operation that I see is multiplication. This is negative 2 times x. So the opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. And remember, in algebra, we don't use the division symbol so much as we show division as a fraction. So this means negative 2x divided by negative 2. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1, and 1x is the same thing as just x. So I got rid of the negative 2. Over here, negative 6 divided by negative 2 is positive 3. So now I'm going to check it and see is negative 2 times 3 equal to negative 6. So negative 2 times 3 equals negative 6. So I know I got the correct answer. In this one, the operation that I see is division. Well, the opposite of division is multiplication. So what I'm going to do is multiply both sides by 4. So on this side, what I'm really doing is I'm multiplying by 4 over 1. When you multiply by 4 over 1, let me multiply this side also before I forget. When I multiply by 4 over 1, this 4 in the numerator will cancel out this 4 in the denominator, because you can simplify that to 1 and 1. And so that gets me the x by itself. And 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Again, flip it around and write your answer as x equals negative 12. So let's check that. Is x divided by 4 equal to negative 3? Well, we said x was negative 12. Negative 12 divided by 4 is negative 3. So I got the correct answer. All right. Last example. This is the one that students have the most trouble with. So in this example, what you see is 2/3 times x. Well, there's a property that says if you take a fraction and multiply it by its reciprocal, it will always equal 1. So we're going to use that property instead of dividing both sides by 2/3. We could divide both sides by 2/3 and it would work, but multiplying by the reciprocal is easier. Remember, the reciprocal is just this fraction flipped over. So let me just show you real quick. Take any fraction, let's say 3/4, multiply it by its reciprocal, and I get 12 over 12, which equals 1. About a fraction of 1/3. Multiply 1/3 times its reciprocal, and I get 3 over 3, which equals 1. So any fraction multiplied by its reciprocal will equal 1. So to get rid of this 2/3, we're going to use that. And we're going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 2/3, which is 3/2. And what I'm going to do over here with this negative 4 is I'm just going to put it over 1. So when you multiply a fraction times a whole number, just put the whole number over 1. So over here, these will cancel each other out. Get 6 over 6, which just simplifies to 1. And over here, I get negative 12 over 2, which simplifies to negative 6. So my answer is x equals negative 6. Again, I flip it around and put the x on this side. So let's check that real quick. So is 2/3 times negative 6 equal to negative 4? 2/3 times negative 6. I don't know why I put a dot and parentheses. I don't need that. So 2/3 times negative 6, multiply straight across, you get negative 12 over 3, which simplifies to negative 4, which is what I wanted. All right, so that's solving one-step equations. So hopefully that was helpful to you. If so, give it a like and a subscribe. Feel free to leave me a comment if you have one. Until next time.